Now the sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops, and it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest-running TV fishing show.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Among the most popular shows that we do here on Bill Dance Outdoors is the periodic question and answer episodes that features Bill answering some of the best questions he receives from viewers as he fishes along. In this week's show, he'll offer his insight on such questions as, do bass go deeper in clear water lakes? What is the best way to catch finicky bass? Are there certain times or conditions that make fishing riprap more productive? And when do you find steep banks and bluffs most productive? Let's watch and learn.
Get around that trolling more. Woo! Bring you on around this way. Can handle you a little bit better, baby. Get out of that seat. Easy does it. There we go. That old spoon out of there. Got a pretty fat little feeding up on shad, hadn't you? Yes, you have. And there he goes. Okay, you know, as our announcer said, we're devoting our show today to answering some of the questions we get each week, okay? Our first one is from a Nebraska angler who asked two questions. Bill, what is the deepest you ever caught a bass? And also, why do bass go deep in clear water lakes? Well, the deepest I ever caught a bass was 65 feet. And the reason bass go deep is because their natural inclination is to rely on their deep water sanctuary. Now, there are several environmental factors, such as temperature, light penetration, water clarity, and the presence of bait fish that combines to form a comfort zone which bass find mighty attractive. I might add that, in terms of catchability, deep water bass are much more dependable than shallow water bass simply because shallow fish respond more dramatically to daily weather changes. Got a letter from a fisherman who fishes Highland Lakes in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. He asked, when do you find steep banks and bluffs to be most productive? I'd say usually during the late fall and the winter, especially in a clear water environment. Now this is the time of the year they prefer vertical structure, mainly because their metabolic rate has decreased and they can move from deep to shallow water in the shortest possible distance while conserving valuable energy. As I said, clear water is an important ingredient in how strong this pattern might be. As conditions change, weather, feed, light, water clarity, or whatever, they can go up or down, whereas on most other type of structure, they may move horizontally 100 yards or so to find suitable conditions. Where are you going? Come on around over here where I can get to you a little bit easier. Easy now. Boy, you got it good too, didn't you? Another nice one. Yes, he is. See you, boy.
Bill Dance Outdoors, sponsored by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly. Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. Come experience the kind of beauty that can only be made in Tennessee. Go online today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
Got one suspended, another fish up there about 8 feet. Some kind. Come on up. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? That old cold water, he's not too, oh, there you are. Go up here, baby. Got you hooked in both. Oh, easy now. Pretty fat little old feeding on shad, hadn't you? There we go. Now here's a question from a fella in Indiana who asked, I realize this has nothing to do with bass fishing, but I'm just curious. What's the biggest fish ever caught on a rod and reel? Well, according to the IGFA, International Game Fish Association, the biggest fish ever caught on a rod and reel, it was a lot bigger than this rod and reel, was a great white shark that weighed 2,664 pounds. And it was caught near Sardinia, South Australia, back in 1959. Oh boy, it's a right there, hold it. Whoa. Oh, a nice one. Okay, we got, come on around the trolling motor. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, you are. A pretty fish. Look at him. Ooh-wee. That spoon got you right in the corner of the mouth, old boy. Got you. And a big, fat, chunky fish. Oh. Yes, you are a pretty thing. Okay. Say bye-bye. Moving along, I received a letter from an angler in East Tennessee who asked, what's the best way to catch finicky bass? With the popularity of bass fishing being at an all-time high, bass in many bodies of water have had so much pressure put on them, they're more finicky than ever. So, bass that are spooky and non-aggressive will often bite the tiniest thing that looks very, very natural. So using small micro lures and lightweight lines definitely can increase your odds tremendously. Now this technique of angling is called finesse fishing. It involves using a 6 to 6.5 fast tip spinning rod with a wide spool reel. This outfit allows you to cast smaller lures with better control, and it lets you feel what the lure is doing as you work it along. The fast tip action rod gives you plenty of backbone so you can fight and land just about any size bass you get a hold of. Now another advantage to finesse fishing is that you can fish behind other fishermen along the shoreline or even open water areas and often catch bass that they miss. Why? Simply because your presentation is so much more natural. So casting the little stuff can produce big numbers of fish right behind someone fishing bigger lures.
Bill Dance Outdoors, sponsored by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly.
Today's equipment log is brought to you in part by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Berkeley, Catch More Fish. Bill Dance exclusive rods by Quantum. And by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder.
Let me show you the lure that we're using today. It's one of Bass Pro Shop's half-ounce strata spoons that has a remarkable fluttering action, whether you cast, troll, or vertical jig it. The spoon is perfectly balanced and is electroplated with a triple chrome finish for tremendous flash. And it comes in two other sizes, a 1/4 ounce and a 3/4 ounce. On the line tie, you can use a loop knot, a snap, or you can add an O-ring. Let me tell you something I think is important. Anytime you're fishing a clear cold water lake and you've got bass hugging the bottom and depths of 15 feet or deeper, the technique that we're using here today is a mighty hard technique to beat. It's a good fish in that cover. There he's out. Oh, boy. Come on uphill. He was hung all up in that cover. Come on back. There we go. Yes, sir. Had to get off that, swim free of that, didn't you? Need to eat you some shad. You know, jigging spoons are one of the best type lures that I know of, where an angler can position precisely over the strike zone and keep the lure there for as long as he wants. It's for sure one of the most precise techniques in the sport of bass fishing, and without a doubt, one of the most productive. I mean, you can just sit right there as long as the wind doesn't blow you off, and just, if you want to, you can take a marker buoy and just throw it out for a reference point, and it can keep you exactly over that spot. But that graph right there is a valuable aid. It can keep you on it, and with your transducer on your trolling motor, the wind, if there is wind, if it blows you off, just pull right back up to it. Keep that transducer mounted right on the bottom of your trolling motor and make a big difference. It keeps you directly on top of your fish. Okay, let me tell you something else. During the mid-fall to winter, bass become very shad oriented, like I said earlier, and the shad are driven into the deeper regions of the lake as a result of falling water temperatures. Also, the shad population experience drastic die-offs in the winter, especially when the water temperature, let's say, gets down below in the 40-degree range, down in around 42, 41, or especially lower in many areas of the country. But the bass, they anticipate this, and they literally gorge themselves on the shad that are dying and fluttering down, and a jigging spoon imitates this. There's no question about it. Deep water jigging spoons are not worth a nickel unless they're coupled with a good graph and the ability of the angler to use it effectively. In order to catch deep bass, you naturally must first find the fish. You must also learn to identify and locate structure with your graph, and then use it to find fish holding structure. Oh, I forgot to tell you, another important consideration when spoon fishing is your line size. Heavier lines, what they do, they affect the action of the lure as it falls. Now, a good choice is anything from, let's say, 10-pound test up to about 15-pound test. Like today, we're using Grand Slam Select. It's a fluorescent line. You can see it real well. It's very sensitive and you feel real well with it. It's got good abrasion resistance and tremendous knot strength.
The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week is brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have an action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Have you ever tried Berkeley's power bait for catfish? Yep, it's a highly effective attractor. You know, I've heard catfishermen talk about it for years, but I've never really tried it until now. I'm amazed. It's really powerful stuff that really works. It makes any bait taste and smell alive, and it's very easy to apply. Just flip the cap and squirt it on. Power bait, it really works.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Berkeley, Catch More Fish. Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. And by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder.
Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, chart plotter, sonar combos. With advanced sonar technology like Chirp and exclusive Panoptix all-seeing sonar, you'll spend less time finding your fish.
You've seen Millennium's R100 spider lock rig that sports 4 rods. What a great product. Well, take a look at the new R200 single for salt or fresh water. All aluminum construction, 360-degree base rotation, 180-degree rotation at the rod, 12 to 20 inches height adjustment, and it's ideal for mounting in tight places. Tell you what, get you some.
Come be part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
A lot of times you're out in a clean, open area, a clean flat, without a lot of cover. You cast out and work it back, just yo-yo it back to the boat. But if you're in a covered area or directly over the fish, it's best to vertical fish it. With all the problems with ethanol, is there a product that eliminates all the messy mixes? Yep, Mystic has one. It's called All-in-One, and it does it all. And it doesn't void your warranty. We're going, where are you going, my boy? You're going crazy. Oh, look at here. Come on around the boat. Another one of those pretty fat ones. Get him out there diving. I see you up under there. See you up under there. All right, coming down there to get you. Say off for me. You pretty. Get that hook out of there. There we go. Bye-bye. Bill, are there certain times or conditions that make some riprap areas more productive? Where should I concentrate my efforts? You know, fishing riprap can be very rewarding, but the key is to fish irregular features along it. Ripraps may look the same above the surface, but it's what's beneath the surface that really counts. What you want to do is search for old submerged logs that have drifted up and sunk. You want to look for underwater points, rock slides, terrain changes, rock piles, ditches or channels that swing in close to the riprap banks. And a good graph unit will help you find these high percentage areas where you're sure to have your best success, especially for concentrations of fish. A stretch of riprap can be productive nearly year-round in areas with conditions like Florida, but early in the year. February through April is usually best. Fishing is good then because warmer water causes algae to bloom. As algae grows, bait fish are attracted to this food source. When you find bait fish, naturally, bass won't be far away. There's one of them. Come on, boy. And there he comes back around the boat. A big old fish. Cold. Come here, you old cold-natured thing. What's wrong with that fish? Easy, baby. Come here. Easy. Take that little Bass Pro spoon. Thought that was a little minnow, didn't you? A pretty fish.
Well, to be sure, Bill always has a sack full of more viewers' questions awaiting their turn for answers. But, as usual, there's never enough time to get more than a few of them in just one episode. We hope the ones we've covered today will make your fishing better. And we promise that soon we'll reach into the old mail sack again and answer a few more good ones in another show. Thanks much for fishing along with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.